Prepare to be offended. Okay. Anyway, got that out of the way. There are parts of me that's really super nervous about sharing some of these pieces because I'm not trying to hurt people, but see, that's also part of the Christian mentality. It's like, keep quiet, don't say anything, because if you do, you're going to hurt other people's feelings. So then you become complicit. You become an enabler to the abuse. And while I love my cousins, they were involved in a very toxic culture. And while they didn't have a whole lot of a choice, and there were parts of rebellion for them in their teenage years and that kind of stuff, and I don't really know where they are now. I am not happy with my aunt and uncle. And let me say this part too. The Duggars weren't at the funeral service. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. But the Doug Phillips, so the Duggars did the homeschool curriculum that, or maybe part of what Doug Phillips was doing, projecting, offering. His group was called Vision Forum. And so they had their own homeschool group, very highly supportive of the Bill Gothard teachings and all that kind of stuff. Duggars were hugely involved with the Bill Gothard teachings. If you know, you know. I was not directly involved with the Bill Gothard teachings. Meaning I wasn't under that specific tutelage. I have my own cult groups. We just weren't directly involved with their homeschool teachings. I went to private school, scholarship. We were poor. Again, my mom was in finance, and so she worked for a school. And so we actually my sisters and I were on scholarship at that school. Otherwise, we would not have been able to go there. Anyway, another side note. My ADHD, it's crazy. So I want to expose the gaps in the awfulness that is Western Christianity. White, nationalist, Christian nationalist Christianity that is not associated with truth at all. I don't know where I stand on a lot of things. I don't. So I'm telling my stories. I'm going to have a lot of ADHD moments. I'm going to have a lot of OCD moments. I'm probably going to have some breakdowns. I'm probably going to be unclear. You're going to probably have to ask me questions, because sometimes asking questions helps jog my memory on certain things. I think I'm being clear at times, and then I'm like, oh, people that are in ADHD are kind of like we're all over the place, because we've got thoughts going 24/7, a million miles a minute. And since these are triggers and creates anxiety inside of me, I do have a tendency to sort of run rampant and jump from topic to topic. So I just wanted to be clear that it was not, the Duggars were not there. Again, at least not that I know of. And I think I was in too much trauma to really figure it out. And I mean, can you tell I'm having a hard time breathing? Jeez, please. So the group that was at the funeral that I know for sure was Doug Phillips's group that were affiliated with the Duggars, Bill Gothard, and other people, other sections that I at this very second, my brain is frozen and I can't think of other ones. So I have had connections with those components along with my other stuff that I will get into later. But this is how this directly affects me. And that's what I'm trying to speak from. I don't want to spread rumors or lies or things that aren't real. My point is to shed light on these organizations that have created so much chaos, division, and that aren't Christian based. Oh, I don't even know what to say about that, truthfully, because they claim Christianity. I have a lot of thoughts on the Bible that I will go into later. stuff that I've deconstructed, but it's white privilege crap. Okay, I'm 5 minutes in. Again, I'm super sorry, you guys. I have this habit of ranting. I hope I'm not boring anybody, but it doesn't matter. It's not about boring people. I'm trying to navigate my trauma. Jeez Louise. Sort of slightly against some of my therapist's worries about my CPTSD and my PTSD as well. So anyway, all this to say, so let's just jump back into it. So at the memorial service, which was what I sort of left off with, we weren't at the funeral site yet. At the memorial service, all these people showed up, which again, I know now. I didn't know at the time. And these were the followers of Bill Gothard, affiliations with the Duggars, affiliations with Bill Gothard, which I don't know if you know this now, but all the stuff, sexual misconduct that's come out about the Duggars, all the sexual misconduct that has come out in regards to Bill Gothard. He was never married, he didn't have children, but yet he was doing marriage and family encounters, which, oh my God, my parents were a part of. Okay, so maybe there was more affiliation than I realized. So it is like, these people showed up to my grandpa's memorial service. Let's leave the memorial service because I already said my uncle had gotten up and spoken. He spoke on behalf of my grandfather, which he never should have. My grandma was in Alzheimer's, so she had no clue what was really going on. My mom is so angry. I'm fuming. In fact, I'm sort of surprised, but it was only out of respect for my grandpa and my grandma that I didn't get up and just start ranting. Again, we had met with the pastor of the church, so I was also trying to be respectful of that too. Which again, I also feel like sometimes that is the Christian BS because it, again, keeps us quiet, stifled, and not telling the truth. So, and not speaking up when we actually should. So we go to the gravesite. This is a military funeral. The people that actually carried my grandpa's casket was Doug Phillips, who should not have been. The guy, Kevin, that I told you about, that was stealing money from my grandpa, that we didn't actually figure out till later, he was carrying the casket. My middle cousin, her husband, and truthfully, I don't remember the rest. My uncle, of course. And so, if you know anything about military funerals, we were under a pavilion that literally had maybe like six rows. This is outside, under a pavilion, 6 rows, 6 pews where the family sat. The amount of people that showed up shocked the military members that were actually leading the funeral at the base. This was, I don't know if I should say, so we'll just leave it at that. I'm trying not to anyway, it doesn't matter. So they show up. I can't even tell you how many people were there, but they were surrounding the pavilion, and we're talking deep, like many people deep into the tombstones here that are crowding the pavilion. And the military chaplain that was supposed to get up and give a eulogy was hijacked by Doug Phillips and this guy, Kevin. My aunt and uncle knew about it, and they got up to give an altar call and started calling out my family members that are not associated with them, all the things done that they have done wrong in their life. I was floored. They called out my cousin who was a male, that the reason he was a bad person is because he didn't have his life together because he wasn't married and following their rules. I cannot tell you how shocked I was in the middle of this, that they're calling out someone they don't know. They don't know. And this is clearly information that my aunt and uncle, the youngest, my mom's younger sister, had given them in order to call out and do this altar call. I'm fuming at this point. My mouth is on the floor. I'm shocked. So is the military members. They're floored. The chaplain does not know what's happening. He has no clue. Oh my gosh. Okay, part 3 coming.